Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at all these brand new perfect build players, talking about which ones are picking up and which ones are probably worth staying away from here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 14,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. So, got two full perfect build sets coming in today, in addition to obviously Diamond KD, who is the collection reward for knocking out all of the perfect build sets. Now, if y'all want to see what that KD is looking like, I did make a video specifically dedicated to him, so I can go check that out. Not going to be talking about him too much in this video, though. Going to be talking about all the other cards that are coming out today, seeing if any of those guys are worth targeting for your squad, worth picking up, anything along those lines. Now, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with the Sapphires, we got Andre Miller, who's 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan at PG, 84 speed and excel, can't shoot a three. A point guard who can't shoot is not going to work. Now, understandably, he's a pretty good playmaker, and he's got, good, decent speed. He's not a horrible defender. He's not a good defender, but he's not awful. I guess he can dunk wide open too. The playmaking badges aren't bad, but no speed booster, as well as no defensive badges and no three ball. That is not going to cut it for Andre Miller. He's not going to be able to shoot the ball well enough to play. Arvydas Sabonis is 7'3" with a 7'6" wingspan at center, has a 74 shot, 384 interior. Unfortunately, has 25 speed and excel. He's huge, and he's going to be a good interior defender. Because of the size, he will rebound the ball pretty well. He can hit a wide open three as well. But 25 in speed and excel is just not going to cut it. This card is basically just a better Kristaps Porzingis, but Emerald KP is not worth using either. So, unfortunately, I don't think this card is going to be particularly good, but it is what it is. I mean, Arvydas generally isn't that good early in the year because he's not fast. He's 25 speed. That just doesn't really cut it at the center position. So it's going to be later in the year when we get a better Arvydas card where he will become a good option at center. Now, Sapphire Gary Payton. Honestly, I kind of expected Gary Payton to potentially be like the lock-in reward for a clamp set, but regardless, 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan at the PG position. He's an amazing looking budget point guard. 83 speed and excel, 74 shot three. Defensively, he's got an 88 perimeter, 90 lateral quickness, and 90 steal. 60 interior, 27 block. He's not really going to guard on the interior still, but the perimeter badges are really, really good. Including Gold Challenger, Clamps, Glove, and Interceptor, which are four of the most important defensive badges in the game. He's got silver handles for days. Again, no speed booster. They are gatekeeping that speed booster badge like crazy on these cards. GP's release, we'll have to see what it's looking like this year. He's got Gary Payton the second's release this year. Interesting. We'll see. I have to see how that works. He does have D-Book dribble style. That is a fire dribble style, so that's a really, really good little animation right there. And overall, I mean, he's going to be a really good defensive PG. He's not going to do much offensively, but in terms of a budget defensive PG, and he'll be able to hit a wide open three and stuff. Like, he'll be okay. Dikembe Mutombo is just going to be an inside, but he's a slow inside is the problem. He's got super high interior, great block, very good standing dunker, great interior badges on both ends of the court, but 25 speed and excel as an inside is just not going to cut it. I would stay far away from this Dikembe card, to be completely honest. This is a card that, despite how good he will be on the interior defensively, will not move quite well enough at all to be justifiable on the court, despite being 7'2". He won't be able to compete against Shaq and guys like that speed-wise at all. He's just going to get absolutely torched. Now, moving on to the rubies, I got to say these sapphires are a little disappointing. I would say Gary is probably the best of the bunch, and then Arvydas, and then Mutombo and Andre Miller are cards I would stay away from. But Rondo is 6'1" with a 6'9" wingspan, a 93 speed and excel. 65 shot three is low. I guess I should have seen that coming with an early game Rondo. That makes sense. Now, another really good defensive point guard, 88 perimeter, 93 lateral quickness, playmaking wise, does have gold speed booster, blow by, and handles for days. So he's got some movement stuff there. Perimeter defensive badges are looking really, really solid as well. With the speed he's got, Steph dribble style, that's nice. His movement might be actually quite nice. And if he's got really good movement, he's a really solid looking card because defensively he's going to be really good, and all he has to do offensively is make a wide open three. And Rondo's release is generally pretty smooth. If he's got a good release this year, this card could be basically a better Chris Paul, I think is the best way to describe the card. Not quite as good of a shooter, but significantly better in pretty much every other area is what I could see this Rondo card looking like at the PG position. So not a bad looking card either. Bobby Jones will not be able to shoot the three, which is going to make him unusable at small forward because a 33 ball at small forward or power forward is just not going to cut it. I understand he's one of the better defensive cards in the game, but you can't put a card like Bobby Jones on the court because he can't hit a wide open three and he's not a center. You really can't run anybody who can't shoot except for at the center position if you expect to have success. Boris Diaw is going to be 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, 76 speed and excel, 80 shot three, 70 driving dunk, 80 interior perimeter, 78 lateral quickness, 74 steal, 78 block. Kind of a jack of all trades type of player. A couple shooting badges, a couple finishing badges. Playmaking wise, has bailout, has dimer. No nothing really particularly great though. Handles today's quick first step, break start, or anything like that. Defensively as well, doesn't have a ton of key badges. He's just kind of all around okay, but he's not quite high enough tier of a card, I would say, to be truly elite as being in just an all-around okay card. Because, like, the speed isn't insane. He's not an elite-level shooter. He's not going to be an incredible defender. He's going to be good at everything, but not great at anything is kind of what I would say about this card. Batum release on normal. We'll have to see what Batum's release is looking like this year. I've liked his release the last couple of years. I'm sure it'll be fine again this year. It's that base 40 type of jump shot from a couple of years ago, if y'all remember what I'm talking about. If y'all remember when jump shot bases had numbers like 2K22 and before. But yeah, Boris Diaw, again, not great. This Sidney Moncrief card is a card I'm very excited about because he can play point guard. He's 6'4" with a 6'6" wingspan. So he's got the size and the ability to be a good defensive point guard again. 82 speed and excel, 50. Why do they just nuke these dudes? 3 balls. I mean, this card looks like a monster. 73 interior, 95 perimeter, 94 lateral quickness, 88 steal. Might even be able to dunk wide open. He's 6'4" at PG, and defensively is going to be an absolute menace. This card looks like an absolute defensive menace. And 57 3-ball, though, is just not going to cut it. Like, Malachi Flynn base is actually a pretty good release, too. Movement-wise, doesn't look incredible, but I was looking at this card and going, this might be an absolutely amazing free option because I think this one's grindable as well. I think they made Moncrief grindable. But honestly, 57 3-ball is real low, man. That's not what we're looking for. Then you have passing Bill Walton. We know Bill Walton's probably not going to be very good again. He's a 6'9" or 6'11" center, but he can't shoot the 3. He's got decent speed. He's a good interior defender, good standing dunk, very capable passer, half playmaker, and half needle threader, and post playmaker, which honestly, I mean, I think these are some of the more useful Hall of Fame badges, useless Hall of Fame badges in the game. Passing half badges like needle threader and post playmaker, so that's not amazing, but he does have gold anchor, pogo stick, post lockdown, silver brick wall, and rebound chaser. Interior badges on offense are pretty okay as well. Now, movement-wise, it's not going to do anything. Release-wise, not much there either. He's a little slow. He can't shoot the 3. Not a card that's going to be head and shoulders above anybody else in the center position. Not going to make any waves or anything. He'll be an okay-ish option as an inside center, but not a particularly good card. Marc Gasol, 40 speed. Goodness gracious. No, I'm not honestly sure that any of these cards are all that good. I would say the cards that I was most excited about were Gary Payton and Sidney Moncrief, who are like kind of meh. Sidney Moncrief would be really good if he had like a 73 ball, but with a 57, it's just not going to cut it. Sabonis is too slow, or Dikembe is too slow. This Marc Gasol is damn near too slow at 40 speed and excel. Now, I know he's got an 81 shot 3, and he's a great interior defender, capable dunker, has half anchor and post lockdown. This card would be a monster if he was like 60 speed. 60 speed, he's one of the best big men in the game. 40 speed, he's a little bit of a defensive liability speed-wise, and that's going to hurt the card. Release is probably ugly because generally Marc Gasol's release is ugly, but it should be fast enough and smooth enough to green consistently, I would say. My biggest problem with this card is just going to be the fact that, unfortunately, I don't think he really is going to be able to defend at as high of a level as the stats and badges say he should be able to because of the fact that his speed is so low. It's going to really hurt him guarding the slip and guarding in transition and things like that. So, again, really, when you look at all of these cards, Amethyst and down, the best options are probably Sidney Moncrief, Boris Diaw, Rondo. Those 3 look okay-ish. And then, obviously, Gary Payton, kind of Arvidas. That's about it. There really aren't any elite budget cards in today's drop, though. Oscar is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, 82 speed and excel, 81 shot 3, 86 perimeter, 85 lateral quickness, 50 driving dunk. When you look at Oscar's stats, he's a 6'5" PG, so he's got really, really good size. He's going to have a very good release as well because Oscar's release is always nice. Will not probably move amazingly at this point in the year. When you look at the playmaking badges, he does not have speed booster, has only bronze handles for days, does not have limitless range, does not have posterizer, does not have any of the key defensive badges like anchor, challenger, clamps, glove, interceptor. He does not have any of the key badges really in any specific area. He's a decent all-around card and he's big, but he doesn't have any key badges in any specific area, which means when you compare him at the point guard position to guys like Steph Curry, Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, he's just not going to be on the same level as those cards. Not nearly as complete statistically, not as complete badge-wise either in any specific areas. He needed like better playmaking badges, better defensive badges, something like that to make him on the level of those top-tier guys, and just being kind of slightly above average at everything isn't going to quite cut that, in my opinion, with the fact that we've got some really good free PGs already like Dwayne Wade and Kyrie. And then we have Kawhi, who looks like an absolute dog. 6'7" with 7'3" wingspan, 84 speed and excel, 82 interior, 94 perimeter, 94 lateral, 88 steal, low block rating, but that's not that important. Shooting badges are mostly bronze, but at least he's got some. Same thing with the finishing badges. At least he's got something there. Playmaking wise, not going to do a lot. No speed booster, no handles for days. It does have bronze bailout, does not have break starter at all. Defensively though, half challenger, clamps, glove, gold interceptor, gold pick dodger, gold pogo stick, bronze post lockdown, silver workhorse, No anchor or brick wall. I'm not that worried about that, though. 85 shot 3, 80 driving dunk. If his release is good this year, he's got his own release on normal. And I don't know what it's looking like compared to last year's release. I would assume that it's probably pretty similar, but if it's a little bit better than last year's release, he is going to be a top 2 small forward in the game 100%. No doubt in my mind at all that Kawhi is a top 2 small forward in my team if his release is pretty decent. I understand he's not going to be a great playmaker, but he's going to be amazing in every other area and one of the best defensive cards in the game. Incredible player build, all that stuff. Kawhi is an absolutely amazing option. I would assume if his release is any good, and I think he's probably the best card today besides KD by a pretty significant margin. Honestly, the rest of these cards are a bit disappointing. This is not exactly the content drop that I was hoping to end season 1 on, because these cards just aren't that good, but it is what it is. We'll get ourselves some gameplays and we'll try out these cards, and we're definitely going to see what we're looking at going into season 2. So hopefully y'all did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.